Hello, friends. Welcome to yet another episode of What is Krista Doing? Okay, so today we're doing my quarter one book tier list. So, quarter one is just like January to March because so far I've read in January to March 19 books, so I'm thinking if I do it at the end of the year, this video will never end. So, I'm gonna do each quarter, maybe. So, here's first quarter, January to March. Um, Disclaimer, a lot of these books are like really short, or they're kids books, or they're like audiobooks. So it's not like I'll tell you which ones I read, which ones I like listened to, whichever ones, whatever. But here we go. And also I have all these ratings and it lined up perfectly for my ratings are very specific. So this is what I've rated so far. Anyway, 19 books. Let's go. So first, starting off January with drama. So drama is like a kid's graphic novel. It's like middle grade, I guess. It's about like this girl who's into acting, and then she has a crush on this guy, but he's gay, and then she becomes his friend, and all this kind of stuff. And she ends up. Does she have a romance at the end? I don't know, but it was cute. I read this as a kid, so I wanted nostalgia, and I rated this a 4.0. So starting off strong. Okay, next. So this is Love. So this is a YA romance. It's like a sequel to a book I read in Christmas, a Christmas book, and it's like this girl likes this guy, and they're both really smart, and they go to this preppy school, but then something keeps them apart, and like, oh no, will they end up together? Spoiler alert, they end up together, and it was cute. I rated this 4.25. I'm very specific. Okay, next, Recitative by Toni Morrison. So this is like it's like a novella kind of. It's like like a tiny book. It's about the story about these two girls. One of them is white, one of them is black, and the main thing of the story is you don't know which one is which, and so it's like kind of like a thought piece on race and that kind of thing. I rated this a 4.5. Oh, the only 4.5 here. Okay, next, Shatter Me. This is a book about a girl whose touch is fatal. It's sci-fi dystopian. If she touches you, you die. At least that's what we think. And it was okay. It wasn't my favorite, but it was not bad. So I rated this 3.75. Okay, next is Never Lie by Frida McFadden. Frida McFadden is that author I was telling you guys about. Yeah, so I listened to all her books as audiobooks, and they're really good. They're spooky, they're easy to listen to, they're pretty good. The story in this one was really good. It's about a therapist who like records her sessions, and then there's secrets, and then she disappears and she dies, and it's like, oh no, what happened? And this couple lives in her house after she died. They bought her house, and like they reveal her secrets basically. So this one was pretty good. I like thrillers. I rated this 4.25. Okay, next, Destroy Me, which is the sequel to Shatter Me. It's just like from a different person's point of view. It's like it's not a sequel. It's a novella that comes in between some books. It wasn't bad. It was just I didn't like the characters, so it's like whatever. I rated this a 4.0 though, better than actually better than the original, but okay. And last book of January was Icebreaker. This book was an actual adult book for once. I mean, yeah, no, well, whatever. An actual book that I read. It was a romance, sports romance. He's a hockey player. She's a ballerina. I like the cover. No, she's not a ballerina. She's an ice figure skater. Um, and they like have conflict. It's like enemies to lovers, or I don't like you to lovers, that kind of thing. It was a long book. Like sometimes romance books are just too long, and this is one of the cases. So I mean, it wasn't bad. I didn't hate it at all, but it was just a pretty long book. But it was cute. And I liked the other characters as well. I rated this 4.0. Okay, next. This is now moving on to February. The Locked Door, also by Frida McFadden. I listened to a lot of her books in this month. What month is this? February? That's audiobooks. So this book is about a girl who her father's in jail for killing women and locking them in the basement and like leaving their corpses there or something. So now, like 10 years later, she's an adult and weird things are starting to happen to her. And then someone finds something in her basement. So they're like, is it like father, like daughter? Well, we don't know. But it was interesting. I liked this. I like Freedom McFadden's books. So I rated this 4.0. Next is The Inmate, also by Freedom McFadden. This is about a woman who starts working as a nurse in a prison, and it turns out her ex, who tried to kill her, is in that prison, and she has to treat him, and he's trying to, get back in there if but like it's weird because it's like he tried to kill her, but now he's trying to romance her in jail. It's interesting. I liked it as well. 4.0. Next is Forever Interrupted by Taylor Jenkins Reid, another actual adult book that I actually read with my eyes. This is just this one was really sad. It's about a woman who like it's a romance, like a really fast romance, like insta love pretty much. They fall in love, and then after they get married, 10 days after they get married, he dies. And so she has to like grieve him. But the most heartbreaking thing about this book is that it goes back in timelines. It goes back and forth between them being happy and then after he dies, and it's so sad. But it was really written well, and I liked it. It was really sad though. I rated this a 4.0? Yeah, 4.0. Okay, next, The Wife Upstairs by Frida McFadden. Okay, another thriller I listened to as an audiobook. This is the one that's exactly like Verity. It's a woman and her husband. The woman becomes incapacitated for some reason, and so the husband hires a new woman to like live in the house and take care of the wife or something. And the woman reads the wife's diary and finds out some weird things. And so it was a good book. It was very close to Verity, but I did enjoy it. So I rated this a 4.0 as well. Okay, another one by Frida McFadden. Again, another audiobook, another thriller. This one is like three couples are supposed to go on to, I think it's couples. Anyway, they go to like a getaway in the middle of the woods, and on their way there, the car breaks down, so they have to walk through the woods. They have to sleep in the woods, and then people one by one start dying, and then it's like who's killing them? Why are they dying? What's all this happening? And it's very creepy. It was very creepy. I didn't like the setting too much, but it was actually like quite good. And I don't see my rating here. I think I rated this 4.25. Let me check. Whatever. I'm gonna guess that I rated it 4.25 because I remember liking it better than some of the other ones. So there you go. Um, Next is Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption. So this is a short Stephen King book, like a novella, I guess. It's about like these guys in prison, and one guy is the narrator, and the other guy is like, long story short, he escapes. I don't actually remember what happens in this book. I didn't like it that much. It took me way longer to read than it should have, considering it was so short. But I mean, yeah, it's my least favorite book so far, 3.0. But I mean, 3.0 isn't bad. Okay, and that is all of the February books. Now moving on to March. Okay, The Perfect Son, yet another Frida McFadden audiobook. Okay, so this book is about a woman whose son, when he was a kid, he did some weird things. Like he locked a girl in a closet, duct taped her, and ever since, the mother is like trying to protect the people that he gets into relationships with in case he does something similar to them, and then he like goes to jail. So now he's like 17, I think, or 16, and he's interested in this girl, and the mother tries to protect her, but it was the wrong girl, and so a different girl goes missing, and then the son gets locked up, and it's like, oh no, did he actually do it? Did he not do it? What's happening here? And it was very interesting. I liked the twist, and this is probably my favorite Frida McFadden book so far, so I rated it 4.75. Again, very specific, but there you go. Next is The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. This is a YA romance. It's like a Groundhog Day type situation. So it's Valentine's Day. The girl wakes up, has the worst day ever, and she goes to bed and she wakes up and it's the same day. It's the same Valentine's Day over and over again. And so one day she decides to have a day of no consequences, and she like just does whatever she wants because she knows it'll be reset the next day. Or will it? And so yeah, it was interesting. It was an interesting book. I liked it. It was pretty good. So I rated it 4.25. Now we have a set, I guess. This is the first three books in a series of unfortunate events, which is, a series about these kids whose parents die, and then they get tossed around from caregiver to caregiver, and all the time Count Olaf is following them around trying to steal their fortune. It's very interesting. I really liked these books as a kid. They were like, these are probably some of the books that really made me interested in reading when I was younger. So yeah, they're good. They're kids' books, obviously, but they were pretty good. So I rated the first one 5 because, obviously, I rated the second one also 5, and then I rated the third one 4.75. Not quite there yet. And so we have the last book of March, The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. This is actually a book I read with my eyeballs. Wow. And then this is basically a thriller about three couples. That's kind of similar to this Frida McFadden book. Wait a second. Did I just No, it wasn't too similar, but it's three couples. They go on a getaway to a remote place in like Scotland in the snow, and they can't really escape, and then tension starts happening, and secrets are revealed, and one person dies, and it's like, oh no, who did it? And that's pretty much it. It was pretty interesting. Not my favorite thriller, but it was still pretty good. And you can see the last spot here is for 4.25. So this is my tier ranking of all the books I read so far in quarter one of 2023. Tune in next time. What's April, May, June? In June for quarter two. Okay, goodbye.